the interview I did with Dalia, that was also a great interview for me because I also learned a lot of things with her as well. And the first was she did an internship with the Fountain Who's, and I asked about the sponsorships that she was a part of or helped out through with the Old Fountain Who's. And the reason I asked that because we obviously did a project with them over the summer, and I think it was me personally. I struggled with it a little bit because finding sponsorships was a little bit harder than I thought. So I asked her what sponsorships did she do, and she did a couple, and she also admitted that it was a little bit more difficult. But I enjoyed the experience with that project because it definitely taught me a lot about sponsorships and how to get sponsorships. So that's one thing that I learned. Another thing that I learned was I asked her about how the COVID year impacted not only herself but the sports industry as a whole. And one of the things that she said was less resources, so that equals less money. And I think that's absolutely right because with less people going to the games, with less money being spent on events, that obviously will mean less money. So the reason I asked that because we all felt the impact of COVID. Me personally, I wasn't in the. I was, but I didn't really start my internship until the following year in 2021. So I didn't really get to feel the real effects of the sports industry. But for those people who was in the sports industry during that time, that you felt the effects of the COVID-19. And she also said less sponsorships, which obviously means less money as well. So, and another thing that I asked was, the one thing that she said was put yourself out there, and that has also to do with the COVID-19 as well because people was stuck in the house for obvious reasons during the COVID year, and you still had to put yourself out there. You still had to make a name of yourself, even though you were still in the house. And she had to do that through LinkedIn or through Zoom calls, and you still had to put yourself out there, even though the world was impacted by COVID. So that's something that I learned that she did was put herself out there, even though she was stuck in the house. She couldn't really do anything because of COVID. Another thing was the company that she worked for, and one of the companies helped athletes transition when their sports career is over. And I think that's something that I believe that not only colleges should have, but also high school students, because most high school students don't know what to do when they get to college. And to be honest, most high school students won't be able to play in sports for whatever reason. So I believe that every athlete should hear this, and every athlete should have a plan B, plan C, plan D, all the way to Z when their career is over, because most athletes don't really know what to do when their career is over because their whole life had been playing that particular sport. So another thing was I asked about finances because I believe that every college student struggles with finances at some point. And one of the things that I asked was advice about finances and spending. And she said, make a spreadsheet of what you spend and budget your money. And that's something that's very important to me because I have a kind of a bit bad spending habit on food and stuff that I don't really need. And I definitely will I will start saving up money, not only for myself, but for trips and stuff that I need, like food, water, and stuff. So that's something that I definitely will start doing as soon as possible. And a company check is a company that involves moving money from nonprofit to wherever the money is supposed to go. And I think that's great because most of that money needs to go to places that really need it, like families, struggling families, struggling students and etc. So that's something that I really loved about the interview, was her explaining what the company was and how the company affects people's lives in terms of finances. And one more thing was, she said absolute power versus reference power. And I asked that in terms of what is a leader to you, because most people think leading is just talking and yelling at people, and I don't think that's the right ideal style to be a leader. Some people lead in different ways. Some people take leadership differently. And absolute power, what she said was, just because of the job title, that means you can control people and tell people what to do. And reference power is when you want to be followed because you set a great example for the employees that you work for, the company, and etc. So I never heard of that term before, or that reference before, but I think that's a good foundation and good definition of leadership. So that is it with the video, and it was a great interview with her as well. And I'm looking forward to talking to Dalia as well. She said she was in one of the 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. classes this semester, and I wish I was there because I would have learned a lot. But I definitely learned a lot with this interview. So hope you guys have a nice, wonderful day, and thank you.